Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion and beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, indie palette reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, I'm very excited to play with this adorable palette today. This is the new eyeshadow palette from Wicked Widow Beauty, one of my favorite brands, and the palette is called Lovesick. This is a tribute to dark romance, emo music. I think it's so adorable. I'm going to create two looks with this today. I'm going to show you the swatches that I did as well, and just have some fun with a little Valentine's inspired palette. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and open her up. Adorable little cherub cupids on here. And here is the color story. You guys, when I saw this revealed on Instagram, I was like, what a perfectly curated 8-pan palette. I always say that Wicked Widow Beauty is so smart about color stories. I feel like she really edits well, and she chooses color stories that are interesting and wearable but different, like her take on a grungy rainbow with Resurrection. I thought the Holiday Graveyard palette was also really fun and not just your typical Halloween palette. And then we have this cool tone purpley mauve palette for Valentine's Day. I think it is so pretty. Over here you will see the swatches that I did, and for me, swatches obviously don't tell you everything, but they can kind of tell you when it comes to duo and multi-chromes what the true shade is going to look like, whereas in the palette it can look different. Once it's on the eyes, it transforms, and that kind of affected what I'm going to do with this palette today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create actually two pretty simple looks here. I mean, it's an 8-pan palette. You can do a variety of things with it. I like an 8-pan because it's not too much and then it's not too little where you just can really only get two looks. I'm personally just going to do two looks today so I can get this video up for you guys and maybe help you decide if you want to purchase it. But I originally thought I was going to do this quad here and this quad here. But then when I swatched it, I thought this vertical row here and this one here went a little bit better together if I'm just going to stick to 4 shades. Now, obviously, you could mix and match these. You could do predominantly mattes and just pop one duochrome in. You can do several looks with this. But today, I'm going to do this vertical row on this eye and this vertical row on this eye. So let's go ahead and get started creating the looks. Okay, so first I'm going to go in with 3 last words, and that is this lighter lavender shade. You do get this little mirror here, and this is a really pretty bright lavender. I could tell whenever I swatched it how pretty it was, how kind of vibrant, even though it's kind of a pastel, it's still really vibrant and has a really good pigment. But I really don't expect anything less out of Wicked Widow Beauty because quality is always there, especially now that she does have her own formula, like that was in the Resurrection palette. I just think the mattes have gotten so good. I know the first palette, the Y'all palette that came out, I believe that was a different formula back then. There were some pressed glitters, and since then she has her own formula, and it's so good. I really highly recommend. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with Letting Go, this deeper shade here, and I'm just going to blend those two together. Ooh, that is a beautiful mauve, like a mauvey purple. I just think the tones in here are so pretty and a unique take on Valentine's Day. You know, not your typical red and pink. I love it. Those 2 shades together is kind of giving me like an orchid. I just think it's really pretty to kind of keep that simple and just keep it to those 2. But if you incorporated this one in here too, like a gradient over, I think it'd be so pretty. But I'm just going to take those same 2 shades and start with the deeper one, the letting go right here, and then do the lighter shade once I get closer to the inner portion. But these are performing very nicely, like I thought. I just think the overall theme of this palette, super, super cute with the emo music. I know that she really, music plays a big part in her creativity and what inspires her. And to do an emo theme palette for Valentine's Day makes so much sense. I think it's so cute. My music taste is all over the board, honestly, all over the board. I'm talking, I love like 90s alternative. I love heavy rock music, Latin music, classic music. I love singer-songwriter, folk, and some emo as well. This kind of took me back. It takes me back to a place in time, like early years of college. And Dashboard Confessional was out, and then the Garden State soundtrack. Oh my gosh, I listened to that soundtrack all the time. All the time. It puts me back. Zach Braff, Rachel Bilson, that movie, that music was used so much too on Grey's Anatomy. And I fell off Grey's Anatomy. That show is like, man, that show's never gonna die. What are they on, like the 1,000,001 season of that show? But back in the day, first 2 seasons, I think I watched it, and they would always have music like that on, and it just like gets you in your feels too. I don't know, this really, really took me back to listening, popping in my CDs and hanging out with my friends. And yeah, I have a lot of respect for this genre of music. It's just so emotive, and obviously it's called emo, but I just think that's so important. Even in like Valentine's Day and all that, and like love and angst and heartbreak and whatever, like just to emote it and get it out, I think is so important. And that's what I like about this music. But all right, so then I'm going to do Love Like Winter. You've already seen the swatches, but I'm just going to show you my finger here. This one has been calling my name, and Goodnight Moon. So Goodnight Moon is more golden, and I think it's fun to play with that, kind of like a cool tone and then like a gold pop in the inner corner. So we're going to take Love Like Winter. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So pretty. This is the one that when I opened it up, I saw the most shifts, and I saw the pink and blue and purple. And I was like, I need that on my eyes immediately. Oh, it's so pretty. I love that. Okay, now we're gonna pop Goodnight Moon right here, inner corner. Oh, that's so pretty to just have this beautiful, sparkly, cool, kind of night purple shade. And then you've got this little gold pop in the inner corner. I think it's so romantic looking. This gives me nighttime for sure. Nighttime, like under the stars vibes. So pretty. Okay, now I'm going to go in for the next eye, and we're going to do Come Back Home and do the same kind of method here. Now this is fairly deep, so this is a pretty mid-tone palette. Other than that light lavender shade right here, matte wise, we have mid-tones to one that's fairly deep, that Letting Go. So I may decide to bring in the lavender here to lighten this up, but honestly, I think if you go fairly light with this one, it stays light enough, but we'll see. We'll see if I decide to just pop just like a light lavender just to kind of brighten up the inner portion, but I may not even want to do that. Okay, now I'm gonna go into Worlds Apart and start blending that in. That is a really, really pretty shade as well. That is a perfect mauve shade. I almost wonder if you went really light-handed what that would look like as a blush. I love mauve so much. It has become like a mauve lip is my favorite lip right now. Over brown, neutral, red, just a mauve lip is so pretty, I think. So obviously that's what I'm gonna do here. I may do a mauve lip with some sort of lavender gloss, like a sparkly lavender gloss to tie it all in together, but I love this shade. Oh, it's so pretty. Those blend so beautifully together. And I'm going to take this same Worlds Apart shade, just like over here, mostly do the lower lash line with this one, and then a little bit of that brown. Oh, not the brown over here, the brown over here. But if someone's needing, you know, just that one kind of neutral shade in here, that Come Back Home is really, really nice. Speaking of, I think I'm going to take the Come Back Home, the brown. I'm just going to see if I can kind of deepen up this outer, or just kind of change up a little bit what this looks like. Because it's pretty bright. That mauve turns a little bit brighter pink looking under on the lower lash line. I think because it's not just like packed, you know, into a larger space. So it does change it a little bit. You could definitely take the Letting Go deeper one that's more purpley and deepen this up. Changes it a little, but not too much. And we're just gonna pop that right here. Pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take Memories. Here's what that looks like. This one popped a little bit more pink in the swatch, and then the Fall For You has a blue pink shift that I think will be really pretty in the inner corner. So Memories. Oh, pretty. It really goes so nicely with these mattes. Keeps it a little bit monochromatic, so obviously if you want to do more contrast, you could put the pink in over with the more purpley tones. But this does have, it's like a really deep magenta, or like a deep pinky berry with some purple shifts to it. So pretty. Honestly, this palette, if you're not like a large palette lover and you love kind of mauvey, purpley, cool tones, this is beautiful. All right, you guys, I'm going to do the lashes, liner, the lip. You kind of know the drill by now, I think. I'm going to do the natural lighting with the music, and then I'm going to come back and wrap up this palette. I'm also going to talk about the price point. I know that's been a little bit of chatter about this palette. I'm going to tell you if I think that it's worth it, and just wrap up my review of Lovesick. Okay guys. Lashes are on, lip is on. I think this is so pretty. I really, really, really like this look. I love these tones. I think that it blends beautifully together. I love how this eye just truly looks like an orchid to me. And then I love this mauve tone eye over here. Super, super, super pretty. So let's talk real quick about the price. Also, I haven't even brought up that this is a collection. So there are 3 liquid lipsticks that you can get. And there's also a cute bag that has the 2 little cupids on it. And then, of course, the palette. Now, the palette itself, and I'll have the info down in the description, as well as my discount code, which I don't make commission off of. It's just to save you guys some money. So this palette is priced at $36. And I know some people were saying that they think that's too much. They think that these palettes should be closer to around $30. I don't know if the factor in it is discount codes. So if you do use my discount code, this comes to, roughly $32. And do you think it's worth it? Honestly, I do. And here's why. And I know I have a whole video on pricing of makeup, which I do bring up Wicked Widow Beauty in that. And I bring up that I appreciate that she does these smaller palettes as well as the larger palettes, because if you are someone that is wanting to try the brand out, or you really like the formula, but you don't want to get a big palette that's more expensive, I think pricing this at $36 for 4 duochromes in here, of course, 4 mattes, that comes to, if you use the code, it's $4 a shade. And I think that's good. Now, I'm also one that doesn't like when people justify some really expensive palettes of, well, you can spend $20 on a multi-chrome. I personally wouldn't spend $20 on a multi-chrome. And I don't like the justification of that, to have these crazy, outrageously expensive palettes. But I think $4 a piece is really, really fair, honestly, for this palette. So I know we see 8-pan, and we probably, I don't know, maybe people in their minds are thinking back when like BH Cosmetics had palettes that were small like this, and theirs would be $15, but this isn't BH Cosmetics. I think it's fair. Now, I think any higher is too much. And I have told the owner that myself. I was like, I think that it's priced well, but any more would be too much. And so I think it's worth it. Personally, if you don't, that's definitely your choice. I have hard stances on pricing of palettes myself, so I understand. But like I said, you can use my code and save a little bit of money off of it. I think it's really, really beautiful. I think the quality is great. I love both of these looks. I love that you have 2 that really work beautifully in the inner corner. The mattes blend well. So I had fun with this palette. I think it's such a cute take on a Valentine's Day palette. You guys will have to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which eye look do you like better? And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.